Good afternoon. Welcome to the Extension Hour, Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service, where we talk all about our people, our programs, and our partnerships. I am Amy Ressler, County Extension Agent for Family and Community Health, and I have some awesome guests today. So I have folks from the YMCA right here in Conroe. You guys want to say hello?
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So like I said, with the Extension Hour, we talk about people that we work with, things that we do, and I am very honored and fortunate to be on the Conroe Board of Directors this year. And when we were talking about some of the things that are happening in the Y and the campaign, I was like, oh, you guys should come on the radio show. So Pauline Veazey couldn't be with us today. She's the director for the Conroe Center, but she sent her very capable assistants here. So Gunnar, you do aquatics.
Aquatics, yes, ma'am.
Right. And Dominique, you're like the new kid on the block, right? With the Healthy Living Director, Coordinator. What is
Director.
Okay. And then Stephanie Pereira. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
I said I wasn't even going to try it, but I decided to go ahead and try it. So Stephanie, you're like the money person, right?
Business person, yeah.
She keeps all of us in line. So
I try. It's hard.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it though, right?
That's
Because
right.
you have lots of great things going on. So we want to talk about that, and we'll talk about some of the programs and everything at the Y. But before we do that, I also need to talk about some of the stuff that we have going on at the Extension Office. So we have agriculture and natural resources. We have 4-H and youth development. We have horticulture, which is also part of agriculture and natural resources. And then we also have family and community health. So lots of things happening in Extension, but it's all about the connection between agriculture and health. And actually what our tagline is helping Texans make their lives better, or helping Texans better their lives. Same concept, right? So anyway, so we talk about a lot of different things, but I try to make sure that we cover them all when we do the Extension Hour, because it is the Extension Hour. So in agriculture, they actually last night had a really great program. It was all about soil fertility. So they had the soil campaign where people could have their soil tested. And then last night they had a really good workshop that helped people kind of understand what to do with those results that they got from their soil test, and how to grow things better in their yard or their gardens or their pastures or whatever. So they also have about a month from now. So on Tuesday, April 2nd, there will be a private pesticide applicator training. So anybody who has a commercial license to apply pesticides has to, first of all, they have to do a lot to get their license, and then they also have to do a lot to keep their license. So they have to get continuing education units, and this is one way they can do that through Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. So 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that will be at our extension office, which is at 9020 Airport Road. And then later on in April, on April 30th, there will be an emergency management about animal issues. And I know the Y was really affected by Hurricane Harvey, and you guys actually have some animals out there too.
Yes.
And so when some kind of disaster happens, like a hurricane, people, we think about getting people out and safe, but there's a lot of animals out there that need to be taken care of. And so they're going to have a full day workshop on April 30th, along with our emergency management office for Montgomery County. And we'll be talking about, what to do with animals and how to get them where they need to be, keep them safe and all that kinds of things. So, because that's something that people, we all need to think about before one happens. Along the same lines with equine, there's a freeze branding clinic, and that will be on Tuesday, May 21st, out at the fairgrounds. So that's coming up a little bit later. So I'm going to tell you about more stuff, but I want to get to why you guys are here. So who wants to start? Any, meeny,
Let's start
miny,
off,
mo?
why not?
Okay. All right, Gunnar. So you are aquatics director.
Aquatics director, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Tell us about what do you do?
So I'm in charge of the aquatics department for at least the Conroe YMCA. And so that's our swimming programs and anything having to do with our pools, kind of the like and such like that. But kind of a unique story, I guess, because the Y, at least here, was my first job. So I was 16, and my mom wanted me out of the house working. So
To do something.
to go do something. Don't waste my summer. So I went up and just, kind of willy-nilly applied. And I got the lifeguard job, and I loved it, and worked all the way up. So I'm still here.
Well, good. So you guys do lots of programs outside of swim lessons too, right?
Yes.
So swim lessons obviously is a big part, but there's something called SAW and Go for Green.
Yeah, so we're a pool, so we offer swim lessons, and that's kind of our main shtick at the Y is for that. But the reason why I've stayed along for so long is we have these phenomenal programs and outreach programs that we do other than just at our center and our location. So like you mentioned, SAW, Safety Around Water programs. We have outreach programs to the apartment complexes in our local community. And so what we do is we go out to these apartment complexes and back up. One of our initiatives, at least as the Greater Houston YMCA, at least in aquatics, is to eliminate drowning.
Right.
So that's one of our big initiatives that we have here. We're pretty serious about it. So we go around to apartment complexes and teach kids how to swim at no cost to the parents or the people living in the apartment complexes. So that's a big part of the outreach that we do. And kind of, we all have our why story, is what we call it. But that's a big part of my kind of why story is teaching swimming lessons and the lifeguarding kind of thing. But, we're here in Conroe, and we're right next to one of the deadliest lakes in Texas. And it's been that way for a while.
Right.
And that's something that I'm very passionate about is the elimination and preventing of drowning as young as you can get. There's really two things, and these are very important topics, I think. But one being the human trafficking problem that we have, just as a whole of the Greater Houston area, and then the drowning, and those are passionate to me because it's unnecessary. It's taking away of innocence. So those are two things I'm really passionate about, and I'm glad to work for a place that deals with those two issues. My specific, specialty, at least what I deal on hands today, is the elimination of drowning. So that's what I enjoy, and that's what I get to do. So.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome that you said that it's at no cost to the parents because the kids love to be around water, and you shouldn't have to.
And this is Texas, so there's a lot of water around.
Yeah, and it gets really hot in the summer, so we want to be near water. But having access to that is awesome. So, why stories too. My daughter, she lives in upstate New York, and she actually worked for the YMCA up in New York for a while, teaching swim lessons.
Really?
To the little ones. So just she loved doing that because she's a water baby. She loves being around water as well. Okay, so lifeguards, they also what all do they do to protect people that swim? What's the lifeguard's job? That's what you started out doing.
Yeah, that's what I started out doing. At least the staff at Conroe, I make sure that they're very active, at least within the community, and not only just, everyone thinks of the lifeguard because of movies or something like that. You're just sitting up on stand doing nothing.
looking good.
Yeah, looking good, tanning. It's more than that. I'm very, very proud of the staff that I had last year and the staff that I have right now. They take it very seriously, and they understand, what they're there to prevent, which is, someone potentially drowning. So they take it very seriously, but they let people have fun. So, you're there to have fun, but you're also there for kind of a safe space. So, I'm glad to have them.
So if someone is interested in being a lifeguard with the Y, what do they do?
Call me.
Okay, and how do they do that?
We're always looking for people. We're looking for good people, but not just because it's a job or that you need, something. We're one of our, at least at the Conroe Y in the Greater Houston, is we're more than just a place to work or a gym. We're a cause, and just like the SAW programs or Go for Green and the outreach that we do, that's our cause. Our cause is for healthy living, youth development. And then in aquatics, the prevention of drowning and such like that. So that's what I'm looking for people to do, and it's a lot more people out there are like that than you would think. I don't think we give ourselves, enough credit due, but there's a lot of people who care. So that's great.
So as the director of aquatics, how do you make sure that the safeguards have the skills, the lifeguards have the skills that they need to keep people safe? I guess they are safeguards as well as lifeguards, right?
Yeah, so we go through very rigorous training. The lifeguards for for the Greater Houston Y, they go through at least 4 hours of individual training per month to keep their skills fresh and their CPR and all this kind of stuff. They're constantly doing drills per week. Their directors are always going down, asking questions. The head guards, kind of our assistants or program managers, are going down and checking and double checking. We have safety aquatics checks that the other directors are come down and do when I ask them for help. So that's great, relying on my team here. So it's just constant self-checking and practicing. That's pretty much it.
But they also need to have a lifeguard certification, which we do offer at the YMCA. They can. It's a 40-hour training.
It's a little less than 40 hours, but about 35 to 40 hours.
Yes.
Okay.
Before they can even.
Before
hired.
Before you get hired, that's what you have to go through in order to do that. So, and there's two main certifications out there, Red Cross and then the YMCA lifeguard certification. And Red Cross is nationally recognized, but we want to make sure that we're up to above and beyond our standards. So we came up with our own kind of course, and that's a little bit unique about the Y.
Sure. So you had mentioned that kids can get swim lessons at no cost to the parents, but that doesn't mean that there's no cost involved, right? Because you have to pay the lifeguards. And
that's our outreach program that we do to the apartment complexes. But we offer swimming lessons and things of that nature, private swim lessons
that people can pay for.
For our members and things like that. So,
but if someone wanted to donate money specifically to that, they could do that, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We have our annual campaign. It's called Better Us. So it's Better Us as in us as the community, not just the location.
Right.
So so we go out and we're a nonprofit. And I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, "Wait, the Y's a nonprofit?" It's like, yeah, we're a nonprofit. They're like, "Oh, that makes so much sense." It's like, yeah, well, we have to go out and raise money for these great programs that we have.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so we've jumped right into some of the things that about the aquatics program, but there's a lot about the Y maybe that people don't understand.
There's so much more. There's so much
around
more.
for a long time. Okay, so we want to talk more about that. We do have to take a little bit of a break, though, so stay tuned because we're going to learn more about why do the Y. Why? We'll be right back. Individuals, families, and communities. Developed by experts and delivered locally. Topics include child and adult health, nutrition, child care, financial management, passenger and community safety, and building strong families. All encouraging lifelong health and well-being for every person, every family, and every community. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
A Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids are removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
Hey, Montgomery County and online listeners. Thank you so very much for checking out Jazzy Vibes with Soul. What? You haven't done so yet? Well, you've got to tune in. Hi, I am the host of Jazzy Vibes with Soul, Miss CeCe Holmes, and I invite you to check us out every Friday and Saturday from 7 until 9 p.m., where you will get the best in old school R&B and, of course, a little smooth jazz to make it jazzy. So tune in. That's right, tune in every Friday and Saturday right here on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM or worldwide at irlongstar.com.
Welcome back to the Extension Hour. This is Amy Ressler, County Extension Agent for Family and Community Health, and I work for Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension Service, and that's what the Extension Hour is all about. Our people, our programs, our partnerships, and we have a great partnership with the Y. And actually, I would mention too, people sometimes means our volunteers as well. And so, kind of one of the ways that I get connected on the YMCA board was with Tom Holt, who is also on the YMCA board. But
Cool.
He's also one of our 4-H volunteers, and he serves on our leadership advisory board. So he's a very, very busy man doing lots of good stuff.
Great guy.
Yes, a really great guy. So, like I said, a 4-H volunteer, and his daughter Clara is in 4-H. And so, let me tell you a little bit about 4-H things that are going on. The show that we had last week, we had Justin and Joe, who are our 4-H Urban Youth Development Agent and our 4-H Program Assistant. And then we talked all about the Texas Wildlife and Woodlands Expo. So that is actually happening tomorrow at the Lone Star campus in Montgomery, the Lone Star Community College campus in Montgomery, or in the Woodlands, but it's the Montgomery campus. It gets really confusing. But anyway, so that's tomorrow, Saturday, March 2nd. And then on March 10th, the next Saturday, there's the 4-H Special Angels Rodeo. And so that's a rodeo that's specifically for children with special needs. So that's a really cool event where they're looking for sponsors and volunteers. And you guys some of you are going to be out there, right?
Yeah, we'll all be out there.
Yeah, because it's got cool, it's such a wonderful project. Anyway, so the 4-H is staying really busy. This is like stock show season. And a lot of people associate 4-H with stock shows, but there's like way so much more than that. And even at the stock shows, they do lots of other things too. So like in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be out there helping with the food challenge, which relates to healthy living. There's lots of stuff. In Extension, we do a lot of healthy living. In fact, my title being Family and Community Health. So I feel kindred with you, Dominique, because healthy living. It's so important. And the Y is a good place to practice healthy living habits.
Yes,
so I mentioned you're the new kid on the block. You've been with them how long?
2 weeks. 2 full weeks.
Like he had to count all those days. So 2 weeks.
Yes.
And tell us more about you. And we were talking in the break a little bit about Y story. So tell us what brought you to the Y and why you work for the Y.
I can give you my Y story.
Okay.
I'm from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my personal training certification back in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to work out at the Y all the time. And so that's the first place I went to see about training. And so I spoke to them, was able to get a job on as a personal trainer. And of course, I also did some aquatics. I lifeguarded, worked in memberships also. And so I got a little bit of taste of all the departments while I was there. And the reason why I did that is because growing up was a place to go to. We weren't a big town or anything, but every other Friday night we had a skate night.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where all the kids from school would go to and we'd skate. And so you would have to have a membership to go. And of course, we didn't have the excess funds to be able to afford a membership or anything like that. And so I knew the director, and the director knew my family. And so he set me up with a scholarship to allow me to get a membership.
Oh, cool.
And so I was able to attend those Friday night skate nights to be able to hang out with my friends and do all sorts of things like that, after school programs and things. And so I kind of kept that in the back of my mind. And so whenever I got the personal training, I took that as an opportunity to be a part of the Y and join them to get a better understanding of what they're about, because I know how much they did help in our community growing up. And from there, I spent a few years there, and then I moved to Oklahoma City, and I became a Group X coordinator and a health and wellness coordinator for a Y up there in Edmond.
Let me interrupt you for just a second.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are a little bit like us, like using terms that people maybe don't understand, like you understand, but not everyone.
Yes.
So Group X.
Yes, group exercise.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's just used to saying that.
Right.
But I did that for a couple of years and finally made the move. And I made my way down here to Conroe. Saw there was an opening and thought I'd take a shot on it. And I'm glad it's paid out, because this Y they have a lot of great individuals, as a lot of the Ys do. They've been very supportive and helpful in anything that I've needed. And so I'm just really appreciative. So I love it here so far.
Okay, so healthy living director, why is a healthy lifestyle important? Why does it even matter?
Before the obvious, feeling better and looking better,
Mhm.
there's a prolong prevent risk of diseases such as diabetes, obesity, osteoporosis, other things that can hinder you from enjoying life's moments with younger kids or with your grandkids or whatever it may be. But a lot of things that most things that people tend to forget about is a healthy mind and spirit also. And the Y also helps provide that by giving you a sound, positive surroundings of individuals uh, through a lot of the events or um, luncheons or anything that we may have for like-minded individuals. Since we are community-based, it's really a nice cohesive group where everybody's in there for the same reasons. And so,
So it's more than just a place to go
yeah,
to work out or do
yeah,
something.
it's
There's
not
a
just, of course, your
yeah.
gym and physical things, but it's also mentally. This for adults and youth as well. It help them to develop them and to kind of show them what their potential can be.
Sure.
And so,
So you guys, the entire lifespan, right? So we talked a little bit. There's a lot of kid activities, kid
Oh,
sports,
yes.
that kind of
Yeah,
thing. So
lots.
growing up healthy, and then as you get older,
Mhm.
aging healthy. So just through the whole entire span, right?
Yeah, we have a large active aging classes, events, and things like that for older adults with a younger heart to keep active and stay with it. And so that's always the one thing you want to keep doing is to keep moving. Don't sit still and get stationary.
Yeah.
Keep active, and that'll keep you giving you the energy to keep going. So,
Okay. And I had another very important question to ask you.
uh-huh.
What does "for all" mean?
For exactly that, it's for everyone, from the younger ones to the older ones. And we have the philosophy we don't turn away anyone. So, like in my situation, that if you're not able to afford anything, we have a program of scholarships and things like that to kind of help you get into the gym and pursue the things that you wanted to go towards, whether it's just working out or if you wanted to go to a swim lessons or anything in that nature, or if you wanted to surround yourself with individuals because maybe you live alone or something like that, and so it kind of gives you a place to hang out or come and meet new people. Um, in which I'll let membership touch on that, but that's what our campaign is for. It's for a better us.
Right. So before we went to the break, we were talking about someone was surprised to learn that the Y was nonprofit.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit more about where the Y comes from. What is the system? There's there's one in Conroe. There's several in the Woodlands and Houston. And so tell us a little bit more about. I don't know whose question this is, but whoever wants to
I don't know
answer
how
it.
many is here. There's
Yeah.
more here than I've known there to be.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a lot. So
The YMCA of Greater
The
Houston.
Greater Houston is
and-
the association, yes.
Okay.
And I'm not sure exactly how many centers we have around. Over 20.
over 20. Well, we're because Harvey hit Houston so hard.
Mhm.
RY was down for a little bit, but not as extensive as some other places. So we have two Ys that are opening or their grand reopening, which is Lake Houston YMCA and then the Bradley McWilliams YMCA. So they're both coming up here in March. So they're having their big grand reopening from all the damage that Harvey did. So we're happy to get those Ys up and going. So the people in those communities can have a safe place to go again. So we're excited about that.
So there's YMCA of Greater Houston, but there's YMCA's I mentioned my daughter in upstate New York, so they're like
Yes.
all
Yeah.
over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah,
But
there's the Y of the USA is like the big mama organization, but then underneath that you have associations in different areas. Like Dominique
Yes.
comes from
Oklahoma. yeah.
Oklahoma
Oklahoma
City.
City.
Okay.
And we are under the Greater Houston YMCA, but like I said, we have over 20 centers all around town. And so you can get different kinds of memberships. If you can get a membership that's citywide, where you can go to all of the Ys in the Greater Houston area for the same price, for one price, or you can just have a center only at certain facilities. Like at the Conroe Y, you can have just a membership at Conroe if that's the only one you want to go to. And it's a little less expensive than a citywide membership.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just to help with that that financial assistance and kind of the pay bracket thing that we base our membership prices off of. Because again, we want to give everyone an opportunity at least to come to better themselves. So.
Okay, so there is a membership fee
There
you mentioned. Do you
is.
want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So we do not require a contract. So when you sign up with the YMCA, it goes month to month. You just have to give us a 10 days notice in writing to cancel your membership, but you're not locked in forever. It is based on your income, so you just need to bring in a copy of your income tax return, or if you're on Social Security, bring a copy of your award letter, whatever you have, to prove what your annual income is, and that's how we base your membership off of that. Then we also, like we were talking about with the annual campaign, we raise more money, and then if you require further assistance, then we can look into special cases after that, and all of the money that we raise from the campaign goes to pay for those scholarships. And so it's very important because since we're a nonprofit and we, getting donors in the community is very important for our Y to be able to do all the things that we do.
Well, I mean, it's a cycle.
Yeah.
So we're just the kind of the
Bridging the
coaches
gap.
and the trainers and the swim lesson instructors and the custodians of that cycle. So if one of the community donates, we help that money and those resources get to the people in the community that are in need. So I have another little story if you don't mind.
Sure.
So a couple weeks ago, I had a parent come up to me. They got swim lessons from a scholarship, and we had them last year doing swim lessons. And so she came back to me about a week or so ago, and she's like, "Hey, thank you so much for doing the swim lessons last year." I was like, "Oh, great. How are the kids?" She goes, "Well, I have a story for you." She goes, "I am so thankful that we did the swim lessons when we did." I was like, "Why is that?" She goes, "We have a place that we go to every year, and my daughters were out, kind of by themselves, and one went off from the group and fell in the lake."
Oh, no.
And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, there's more to the story.
Yeah,
right?
there's more, right? She
Yeah.
goes, "I am so thankful that I had a scholarship, and those lessons were effective because she swam back to the dock, pulled herself out, and then went back to the group, and they got her changed and all that." So she's like, the wise swimming lessons literally saved my daughter's life."
Wow.
Yeah, and I was
that's
like,
awesome.
I'm trying not to okay, thank you. And, yeah, so that was really,
Yeah.
really great. And that's just kind of a one example of the impact that we can have in a community when we have, especially the scholarship program that we have, which is fantastic. So.
Okay, and so you can't do it all by memberships alone, and that's one of the reasons why you have the campaign going on. So we want to talk a little bit more about that. And then I know on board meeting, we were talking about some other really touching stories about the Y. So we want to share some of those when we come back, and a little bit more about membership and campaign. And then, of course, I got to talk about my extension stuff because that's what we're here for. You're
Important
listening.
too.
Yeah, that's right, because this is the Extension Hour. And I'm Amy Ressler, County Extension Agent, and we will be right back.
You're going to need me.
You're going to need us.
All of us.
You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food.
You're going to need our determination, our compassion.
You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring.
And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Today, 4-H is growing the next generation of leaders.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Does volunteering at a nonprofit horse sanctuary sound wonderful? Or are you a veteran or a veteran spouse and think trying a peer group session through a local Horses and Heroes equine program might be worth trying? Henry's Home Horse and Human Sanctuary, located in Grand Central Park by appointment only, is home to a growing number of rescued and donated horses. Visit our website at henryshomehorsesanctuary.org or check out our Facebook at Henry's Home Horse and Human Sanctuary for more information.
And we are back. I'm Amy Ressler, County Extension Agent, Family and Community Health. We're talking about the YMCA. And before in the last segment, we were talking a little bit about healthy living and why it's important. And like I mentioned, that there's a lot that we do related to healthy living. In fact, our Facebook page is Healthy Living in Montgomery County, where we share a lot about the programs that we're doing, and then also we have different types of tips and suggestions and great articles to help people just all about healthy living. But some of the programs that we do that are related to healthy living, we have a mobile cooking school that we offer. So it's like a hands-on cooking, and we call it mobile because we take it like anywhere. So we take it to community centers, schools. So like actually this past week, we were at the Academy for Lifelong Learning, which is part of the Lone Star College system. And we were literally in the classrooms. And then also at Sam Houston Elementary, we've been doing some cooking classes with some of their parent engagement groups. So, just like I said, in a classroom. So that's the mobile part of it. But we literally make recipes. So we have a little bit of a lesson, and then we make a recipe, and then we sit down and eat it together. Because eating healthfully is a big part of healthy living. So a lot of it is what you do, but a lot of it is what you eat too. So balancing those two is really important. And then the other thing that we have to do that has the program related to what you do and physical activity, which the Y could be a big part of, is our Walk Across Texas project.
Yes.
So that's one it's an 8-week project where we encourage people to be in teams of up to 8 people. So they can have less than 8, just not more than 8. And the goal is for that team of 8 to walk or do other types of physical activity. So pretty much anything you're doing at the Y. So 20 minutes or so of physical activity that's kind of got your heartbeat up a little bit. So moderate to vigorous physical activity. 20 minutes equals a mile. So the goal is that everybody that's on that team is doing their physical activity, getting their miles, so that together they get about 832 miles within those 8 weeks, which is roughly the distance from Orange to El Paso, Texas. So works out really nicely. The CDC, Center for Disease Control, actually suggests that healthy adults get about 150 minutes of physical activity each week. And so if you're doing those, each member is doing the 10 to 11 miles that it takes. It's about 150 minutes. So it works out really nicely. And then for those people that have a little bit of a competitive streak, that friendly competition helps. And we also have prizes and that kind of thing. So we'll issue a weekly challenge within the community challenge, so that if whoever gets like 20 miles in the week will be put in for drawing for prizes and that kind of thing. And the Y will offer a 7-day trial membership to anybody who signs up. So that's a great way to get started.
Yep.
And we will keep a tracking system at the Y. So if they want to come in and use our equipment or anything like that, take group X classes, that can definitely be, because I know with the weather, it's kind of been up and down. Can't get outside and run for 20 minutes or anything.
Yeah. So our Walk Across Texas Challenge actually starts April 1st is when we just really have the kickoff, and that's when we do that focus. It can happen anytime. And so, for some people, they need to warm up before they get to, so if they want to start doing that now. But April 1st is when we're going to do our Montgomery County Community Challenge. So also, there's a couple other things I wanted to mention. We also do another project called Families Reading Every Day, and that's to get family engagement and literacy development among kids. And so we have kicked that off, like actually this week. It's been kind of a busy, crazy week, but we were doing that at some of the local Head Start sites, encouraging those families to participate. And Kids Fest is coming up. That will be on April 27th, and that's a great family activity. And then another thing that I wanted to mention that's kind of a general, one of the ways that we decide what kind of programs we do and what we do in Extension is through a long-term strategic planning process that we have. It's called Texas Community Futures Forum. So TCFF is the acronym that we use, and that's one of those things that I would probably just go TCFF.
Yeah.
And, what are you talking about? Yeah. So Texas Community Futures Forum. So that's getting ideas from the community. So we're opening it up to community members. So anyone who has some ideas of things that, where we need to be going. Because, Montgomery County is pretty amazing the way it's been growing lately. So some of the issues that affect us here in Montgomery County are different than our neighbors. So it's really honing in and identifying the things that are important here in Montgomery County. So we will have a open forum where we collect those ideas on May 7th. So anyone who's interested in that, they can definitely give us a call. And all these things that I've mentioned about Extension, we are located at 9020 Airport Road. So that's in Conroe, right across the street from the Lone Star Convention Center. And we're open, 8 to 12 and 1 to 5. And then our phone number is 936-539-7825. And then we also have Facebook pages, web pages, all that kind of thing where you can find information. And then I've also mentioned too, like last week we had Justin and Joe, and they were talking about the Wildlife Expo and some of the 4-H projects. So another thing that people don't know about about the radio program that we do here is it's actually available for playback at any time. So when somebody wants to learn more about the Y, you can say, go listen to that radio program that we did on Lone Star Radio. So that's on YouTube and iTunes. You can actually subscribe. And Google Play, and then of course Facebook Live. So we are live on Facebook right now. So hey,
awesome.
Facebook friends, y'all wave, say
What's up,
hi.
interwebs?
yeah. So okay, I've been going on and on about. We're going to talk more too about our master gardeners because they do some awesome things. But before we went for the break, so we talked about aquatics, we talked about healthy living. There's lots of things, lots of reasons why you would want to join the Y. So now we want to talk about how you join the Y. And so you touched a little bit on memberships before we went to the break, but Stephanie, tell us more about what we need to know.
So with your membership at the YMCA, we have a basketball gym. We have over 50 group exercise classes a week.
Group X.
There you go.
Yeah, group X
Group X.
classes per week, all different kinds. We have a racquetball. We have 2 racquetball courts. We have 2 pools. One that's only open in the summer. It's a splash pad, and then we have the main pool where you can do your lap swimming, or we also hold water aerobics classes in there. Our pool is about to open back up. It was
About to open
on
March
Monday.
4th.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was
Getting
closed
ready.
down for.
Is it going to be warm
repairs.
enough?
I hope so.
Holy
I really
moly.
hope so.
Yeah, I know. We've been having
I've been
60,
waiting a long
70
time for it
degree
to be
weather,
open, so.
and then now it's about to open and it's going to get cold.
Okay.
But
But
it
some
is
people like to swim cold, right?
Well, the pool's heated, so
Okay.
that's one of the benefits of it.
The pool is heated, so you can do those water aerobics and all of those things, the exercise classes, the workout equipment, and the gym. All of it, it's included in your membership. We also have pickleball. If anyone's interested in pickleball, we do that. We have our sports that we run out of the YMCA too. So if you're a member, you get a discounted rate on all the sports, all in the swim lessons and things of that nature, after school care, day camp, all of that. If you're a member of the Y, you get it for a less price than you would if you were not a member. But you don't have to be a member to enjoy any program at the Y. It just costs you a little bit more.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if
It's the sports. When you say sports, you mean youth sports. Do you have any adult sports?
we do have adult basketball
Mhm.
on Tuesday nights, and so far that's our only adult sport.
Okay.
But most of them are youth sports. Well, we do have our equestrian program, which is not up and running yet because it was damaged during Harvey, and we've been working diligently to try to get it back up and running. And hopefully soon it will be ready to go again. And we have group lessons and we have private lessons, so you can do that as an adult as well. So hopefully really, really soon we'll be doing that again. We miss it a lot. Our horses are back at the Y. They were gone for a long time.
Yeah, darn Harvey.
Yeah, but they are back and they're ready to get back to work too as well. So we can't wait to see that happen again.
Okay, so when you're looking at a membership, just kind of, I'm thinking in terms of budgeting and what kind of things do people need to look for or kind of consider?
Well, we have different kinds of memberships. So it's going to depend on, we have student memberships for teenagers 10 to 17. That one's $24 is the top rate for that. Of course, if your income is below a certain threshold, then you would get it for less than that. We have
And wait, let me interrupt you for just a second too. So you said 14 to 17. So a teenager
10 to 17.
10 to 17. So can a
Yes.
teenager be a member by themselves?
They
or do
can.
Okay,
They
that's
can be,
pretty
yeah,
awesome.
10 to 17, they can have their own student membership. Then we have one adult membership. We have one adult with kids. We have 2 adults with kids memberships. Then we have our one senior, 2 seniors. And we also have Silver Sneakers memberships that
Okay.
wear Silver Sneakers and Silver and Fit for our active older adults. Certain insurance companies will pay for your YMCA membership.
Oh, nice.
If you have it's a certain Medicare supplements that will pay for it. So we have a large senior population at RY, and we do lots of activities for them. And it's really important for them because a lot of times once you retire, you just find yourself sitting at home and you get more isolated if your spouse has passed away, and so it's been so helpful for a lot of these people to get up and just get out of bed in the morning, just to come to the Y. You can just come, drink coffee, sit around. They talk with their friends. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't, but at least they got out of the house and they got there.
Yeah. So the social aspect is really, really
It's
important.
really important.
Okay.
for
So
them.
what's the difference between a senior membership and a Silver Sneakers membership?
Senior membership is they pay for it themselves. The Silver Sneakers membership is what the insurance company will pay for. So some of them come to the Y and they don't have to pay anything. It's covered by the insurance company.
Right.
But if they don't have that insurance, then they pay for their membership themselves. But it's also based on their income. So we work with everyone because we want everyone to be able to be a member at the Y if they want to. And we have special classes for the seniors. They're called Silver Sneakers classes, but they don't have to be a Silver Sneakers member to participate in the class. Anyone can participate in them. And they really have a great time. We have one that's at 11 o'clock every day, 11 to noon. And it got so big that we had to move it from our aerobics studio into the basketball gym, because we got so many people doing it.
Oh, wow.
And they have so much fun doing that.
And what's considered a senior?
65 and up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned there's a Silver Sneakers class at 11, but back to the Group X classes or the other classes, what are the common times for classes that are available?
I think our first one starts at 5:15.
5 a.m.? Yeah, okay.
AM, before I'm even attempting to wake up.
But you've got morning people who run those.
They fill up. You have to sign in to get to some of those classes because they are very popular.
Yeah.
And we also have some later in the afternoon, I think around 1 o'clock. I'm trying to add in more later in the evening just so we can meet everyone who's getting off of work or who are busy during the day, that they still want to come in and find classes that they can come work out in. So that's something that I'm trying to work on right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Conroe Y is open from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and then from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Fridays. So
Lots of opportunity.
pretty much if you're awake during that time, there's an opportunity for a class for you to join. So.
And your membership covers all of that,
All
right?
the
So
classes.
you can
It's
go do
included.
whatever
Correct.
is available at the Y. So you don't
Yes.
have certain, you can do this, but not this.
Yes.
Okay, it's all open.
Yes, and we're open on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday too.
Mhm.
So the hours aren't as long, but you can still work out. So we're there all the time.
Yep.
There's no excuse not to come in.
Okay, so membership is important, and that's one of the ways. So, but that may not pay all of the bills. So we mentioned the Better Us campaign. We want to talk a little bit more about that, but we're going to have to take one more little break. But we will be back, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the Master Gardeners are doing as well. And also, I got to tell you who's coming on next week and the next week. But you are listening to the Extension Hour, Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service, and we'll be right back. Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service is all about extending knowledge and providing solutions. We do that by using science-based information to create high-quality and relevant education for the people of Texas. More importantly, this outstanding education is delivered locally, right here in our county. We encourage lasting and effective change that helps our communities and our county thrive. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That's Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on the computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. A Lone Star Community Radio. Broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
What can the Better Living for Texans program do for you? You can learn how to increase your consumption of fruits and vegetables, choose foods that are relatively inexpensive and good to eat, make your food dollars last longer, prepare quick, nutritious meals, help your children learn how to eat healthier snacks, and much more. Our program is committed to helping people like you improve your health through providing research-based nutrition education in a friendly, cost-free, and relaxed environment. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
Welcome back. This is the Extension Hour. We've got YMCA with us here talking about all kinds of things and the wonderful opportunities that are available at the YMCA. But there's also wonderful opportunities at Extension, and this is the Extension Hour. So March 9th, that's a Saturday. So our Master Gardeners, awesome group of people. We've got over 400 of them. They're volunteers, spend their time outreach, helping others learn more about gardening. And so on March 9th, they have some Saturday series gardening classes that they're offering. So they're doing that once a month on a Saturday. So on the 9th, there will actually be 2 sessions. So the first one is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., and that one is called Honing In on Your Spring Vegetable Bounty. That means that they're going to teach you how to make a lot of vegetables, how to make your vegetables grow. And then session 2 is the best ways to start your vegetables growing, and that'll be 10:30 to 12:30. So people can come to either or both, and that lots of good information there. And then on March 23rd is another Saturday. They'll have their annual spring plant sale, and so that's where people can actually come buy plants. And the cool thing about this plant sale, as opposed to getting plants anywhere else, is that they are all plants that are going to grow well in Montgomery County, and the Master Gardeners are there on hand to help people know what to do with those. So, you know, if you're not accustomed to gardening and you just like having plants, and they've got really good advice. And so there's someone there that you can ask, and they know, and they give really good information, because it's another really great way to stay active and be healthy is through gardening. So yeah, that's coming up. So they are actually going to be on the show next Friday. We'll have some Master Gardeners, Lynn Shaw, Mary Decker, and then there may be one more that come visit with us, and they're going to be talking about vegetables and growing vegetables. So lots of good information there. And then the next Friday on March 15th, we're going to have Ed Dolphin, who is an arborist, and he will be talking about trees. But he's also a volunteer on one of our committees, so on my committee, on the Family and Community Health Committee. So we use committees to kind of help us with our programming as well.
I'm gonna have to listen to those because I can't grow anything. I need help so bad.
Well, they've got great information. They learn everything about like trial and error. So you can listen in live. Facebook Live, or on the radio 104.5 and 106.1. And then, as I mentioned, podcast. So you can go back and listen on YouTube, on iTunes, on Google Play, or even Facebook. So you can go back and listen to those there. Okay, so we talked about memberships with the YMCA, but that's not the only way. I mean, because what you guys just mentioned, and I think it's really important, is the Y is for everyone. Mm-hmm. And you guys go to great lengths to make sure that everyone can afford it. So whether it's scholarships or based on income, it is affordable for everybody, but memberships is not going to cover all that. So donations are really important too. So Stephanie, tell us more about that.
Well, we're having our annual campaign kickoff on March the 29th at the Conroe's Incredible Pizza from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. So if you're interested in learning more about the Y and what we do with the campaign donations that we raise, you're welcome to come out for that event. And then the campaign will be in effect, I believe it closes out at the end of May, I believe.
Yeah.
But we will take donations all year long if you ever want to donate.
You never turn down money.
No, we do not, because we use every bit of it. But yeah, it's a great program, and I'm just really proud to be a part of it.
Yeah. So did you tell us your Y story?
I didn't. I started with the Y ages ago when I had a little 10-month-old baby, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I just wanted to get out of the house a little bit, but I didn't want to leave her at home. So I took a job at the Conroe. I mean, it was in Georgia at the YMCA in the Child Watch because she could come with me, and I could just get out for a little bit. So that just I did that until my children were both in school full time, and then I moved on over to membership, and then to back office, and then eventually became the business director. So, but I stayed with the Y the whole time because of what it stands for. I started there just to get out of the house, but it became so much more. And so many of our employees, like Gunnar, who started as a lifeguard, and Dominique, who started as a personal trainer, but he actually started working out the Y. So many of our instructors, actually Pauline, our executive director, started out. She was coming to the YMCA. I was watching her child in childcare, and we said, "Hey, you're here all the time. Why don't you just become an instructor?" So she said, "Okay." So she became an instructor, and now she's stayed with the Y all these years, and now she's running the Conroe Center. So that's how it happens. You just you can't help but get involved in what the Y stands for, and it just hooks you, and it won't let go.
Yeah. See, and mentioning the Y stories, and everybody has one. I mean, you can pretty much anybody that you talk to, right? Do you know some type of connection with the Y? And almost everyone's going to have something that they can relate to. So the town that I grew up in, we didn't have a YMCA. We had a YWCA. But I grew up with 4 brothers, and we had a large family, not a lot of money. So we spent a lot of time at the Y, and I have lots of memories of my mom taking us to the Y, and then her participating there. And that was, and I think that she still does sometimes when she can get over there, because it's great social. So it helps with all kinds of health. So mental health, physical health, all of those kinds of things.
Spirit, mind, and body.
There you go.
Yep.
All right. Anything else you guys want to mention before we sign off?
Just to touch on that campaign that we did mention, that all the money that is raised for the Conroe, it stays here, the Conroe, for the community here. So
yeah, that's an important thing to know.
I think somewhere around, about 50% of the members that we have at the Conroe have some form of a scholarship, which is fantastic if you think about it. So yeah, we're doing a lot of good. So I'm proud of that.
And as you mentioned too, the memberships, though, you don't. So if you join at the Conroe Y, you do have options to go to other ones.
Yes, you can join as a Conroe member or as a citywide member. And if you have a citywide membership, you have access to all the Ys in the greater Houston area.
Okay, so one more. Can we tell the Y story you told at the board meeting? That one almost brought tears to my eyes.
We
Is
had
it okay?
an older gentleman whose wife had passed away, and he was very upset, obviously, and he came to the Y, and he made an appointment with one of our trainers to do a Smart Start, but he just decided he couldn't go on anymore without his wife, and he had made a plan to himself that he was going to take his own life that weekend. And she called him up and said, "Hey, we have a cancellation, and can you come in today instead?" So he came in, and she toured him, and she talked to him, and she just really poured her heart into him, and he's still with us. So she literally saved his life.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you guys for being here
Thank you for having
today.
us.
It was really good to have you. Like I said, so many great things about the Y that people, sometimes we just take it for granted, and and we can sympathize with that, because that happens with extension. Sometimes people are like, "I had no idea you guys do all those things," and you try all day to tell as many people as you can. So it's great that you guys can share your story, and we can share our story, and we appreciate Lone Star Radio having us and being on to be able to host the Extension Hour, and always looking for financial support with that as well. But yeah, Dick's telling me it's time to wrap it up. So tune in next week. We'll have some master gardeners. We'll be talking about vegetables, and then we'll be back here every Friday, 1 to 2. You're listening to the Extension Hour. Thanks. Take care.